Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is another collective coffee, I think, because I didn't really finish my thought. I watched the one back this morning. Um, I had this aha moment last night. I mean, I already know that we know why the Trump administration is, you know, going after people, especially like these gang members, is what they're calling it, the homegrown folks. And I think I had this aha moment last night, which was if what the Klan is doing, right? Because let's just be super real about what this is. They're removing any sort of resistant, like comparable resistance to them. And I think that's pretty much it. So, like, yeah, we already know that a lot of folks are within the forces of, police, whatever, border patrol. And we know that that's all people of, every nationality for some interesting reason. But what I'm trying to get to the point of is, like, I was thinking about the way that they're going after, like, the MS-13 folks in particular, and the rhetoric that they're using there, and what's happening and how folks are being deported to El Salvador and incarcerated. And it came out collectively. We understand that that's uh, um, it's more than just incarceration. They're killing folks. If you haven't seen those Google Map images, I don't remember what one I shared, that what I saw on one of these collective coffees. I haven't really been labeling them. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's even watching. But the thing that made me think about the rounding up of brown men, specifically brown and black men, is that I think the gangs are interesting. When we talked about the New York street organizing in the collective comrade a few weeks ago, I made it known that from what my experience was in the Los Angeles hood, it's very easy to see geographically how gangs organize. And gang is a word that folks use to identify themselves as well, so it's whatever. But that has a really bad connotation, okay? We know this. As far as when the president is talking about gangs versus when I'm talking about gangs, there's a completely different meaning there because I'm not criminalizing it. I have no problem with people doing what they need to do to protect their people, communities. Um, but within that, I was thinking about how we talked about geographically how, historically gangs are certain blocks within urban environments, and they protect their people within those confines, those streets, certain grids, right? So, with the mass arresting and deportation of those people who are there to protect their people, women, children, their families, right? With them being out of the way, it's going to be much easier for lots of things to happen. One being the gentrification, the land theft of areas. Eminent domain, if you're in an urban setting, eminent domain is when the government can be like, this is our land, you need to move. It happened to one of my friends' dads in Wisconsin. They were building a new highway and he got eminent domained, and had to move. But I feel like in these times, it is going to be developmentally, right? If it's cop cities, smart cities, I think what we really just need to understand is I'm thinking a lot about the ways in which the system is going after the people that they are and why, right? I mean, they're saying they're criminals and they're dangerous and whatnot, but that's always the rhetoric used. Oh, God, this fucking dog. Dea, go outside! Go outside! Give me one sec. I'm not wearing very many clothes. Okay. I had my bathing suit on, that's why. I was gonna lay out and it got cloudy. Outside! It's Mother's Day. You gotta be nice to me. Okay. Alright, anyway. So, with the police taking men away, who's left to protect women and children? And that's the point I'm trying to make. We do live in a society that does not cater to support, protect the most vulnerable. In fact, this society is so ass backwards that it preys upon the most vulnerable. Again, I will never forget what RFK said, because it's going to be interesting how that plays out. Kids are our greatest resource. There's a lot deeper shit here, I believe. I'm not trying to manifest that, but we already know about Mossad and their involvement in human trafficking. We already know about Mossad and the connections between Jeffrey Epstein and that gazelle woman. What's her name? Maxwell? I don't know. Jeffrey Epstein's woman. They're all friends with Trump, okay? The Mossad is like the Israeli CIA, essentially. And they've, there's a lot of information that's come out in the past few years about how they are the largest human trafficking ring. There's a lot deeper stuff going on as far as why they want certain bodies, why they want certain organs. Melanated skin. Melanated skin is black folks, brown folks. There's more melanated skin. So like a kidney of a melanated person, a black or brown person, goes for a lot more than a white person on the black market. Why do I know this? Because people talk about it. I've watched interviews with like cartels, and I'm interested in understanding the why to just about anything in the world. So I research a lot. And this stuff is out there. The internet is free. I mean, you have to pay for the internet, but the information is available. I've never been on the black web. I've never been on the dark web. I don't want to know. There are some things I don't want to know. I don't really want to know the depths of evil. I would like to just know enough to keep my head on a swivel and be able to protect me and my own and anyone else in my vicinity, if at all possible. But I think that a lot of this has to do with human trafficking, because once the protectors are out of the way, then the white men that we can see right now already happening, the way that these ICE agents, I truly believe the ICE agents are not law enforcement, and I feel like what Trump has done with the deputization of regular citizens in regards to immigrants and ICE, he signed it yesterday that regular citizens can be deputized to become ICE agents, or, become these people. I talked about that in the first collective coffee today. But sitting here thinking about it more, it's just like, the only, like, what made the civil rights, or what made the Civil War go wrong the first time for these white supremacists? It was that enough men from the North wanted, freedom for folks, or at least wanted their own ability to also enslave folks. I'm not quite sure. I don't think any of us are. But either way, there were men who fought back against them. So right now what we're witnessing, it's like, I'm thinking of like a lice comb. Like when you comb out bugs, that's not a good analogy, but you know what I mean. Like there's like a combing through, removing of people who could serve as a resistance point, right? And they are now labeled terrorists, and things like that. So if you are in the United States, pay attention to what's happening. I don't think enough people are aware of any of this. I don't think enough people care. Um, but I feel like this is just going to be, you know, as long as they're going unchecked, which is what we've been saying with Palestine as well. I mean, this has to be end times, because how can we have access to each other and the information and the ways in which war and genocide and, you know, the preying of children? I mean, that's the bottom line of, like, when did society decide that it was okay to treat children uh, as if they were disposable? I mean, whenever that happened, that's when we lost our war. I mean, at this point, it's, you know, complete control and domination for resources, and if they are naming our children as a resource, that's dangerous. But again, without protection. So women have historically been very much in the resistance. Go to my Instagram today. I shared a bunch of photos of brown women in different varying degrees of the globe being parts of resistance, mothers breastfeeding while holding ARs and shit. Really powerful stuff. And I think women need to be standing up for the rights of ourselves and children. And we need to be... Niall, I don't need all that, thank you. We need to be ready to fight for our lives, with or without the men around us. Single moms, hey, what's up? I don't have any men who are gonna go to bat for me. I know that. I know I'm gonna have to be the one to fight them off. And I'm preparing for that in lots of ways. I'm getting my body ready. I'm getting weapons. I'm getting familiar with them. I made a video about celibacy and self-defense a couple months ago. I would highly advise to decenter men, especially if you are a mother. Stop. Get off of my desk. Especially if you are a mother. Do what you can to, you know, get your child ready for this as well. No. You are not going to be playing with the scissors right now. That's all for today. I just had that moment of clarity last night and I wanted to share. So if you are a man, you know, get your homes in order, get things ready for your families, and prepare to fight. We're here now. Okay, bye.